Hello, hello. I am Floppius of the Loppius, and today I've come back to continue part 3 of my Life and Suffering of Sir Brante playthrough. Let us begin with Telemachus Brante. Any moment now. Alright. Oh, this is my first death. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to Grandfather and kick him in the leg. Yeah, we kick that bitch. But then we get bashed in the head with his cane. How dare you raise your hand to me? The blow hits home, he cracks my head, splintering bone and cracking neck. The vertebrae goes everywhere, and my vitae is spilling over the floor. Your hand twitches against your will, and then again, like it is trying to catch a flying butterfly. And then I fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of me, one of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation, and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. Ah, the first death. Alright, we've done this, 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 and we've done this, and we've also done this, and also this, and this. And we chose cause. Whatever your mission is a proof of the twins' god's love for you. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It's heavy and unwieldy. It lacks the lightness, the light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. I awaken from my catharsis. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills are revolting, but so real. You are back. I am alive. You smell a sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of the family crypt, lying flat on a stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They are arguing. Against all rules, mother will not agree with father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Lydia. My father is our family's head. The boy raised a hand to him. There is nothing we could do, and father did admit that he was too hard on him. Please, do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this. The twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. There will be returned here by the gods twice more, but do not tempt fate again, and never, ever defy those who can easily take your life. Telemachus, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On your way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It's perfectly fine. There is no sign of the blow. Back home, Grandfather is still walking through the house, examining the rooms. You can see that Stephen and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. Okay, wait, I want to see personality. So I'm inquisitive, I'm active, and I'm full of power. I'm a lowborn, I'm growing up, I have one death. The game just ends, I'm assuming the game just ends at true death. Like, whatever happens, I just die. Wear a tarnished honor. Modest means. So this is Stephen's birth mother. Okay. She's dead. As in, true dead. Again? There's something new about you now. A pitch black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. My determination is now +1, my perception is +1, and I have died once. Wow, what a great start. Hey, man, family problems, my guy. Grandfather just destroying my head. Year 1124, fall, the master of the house. Soon, grandfather leaves, taking my brat of a brother Stephen. Okay, now I kind of just pity him. He's probably going to turn grandfather's probably going to turn Stephen into like a douchebag even more. From that day on, fathers hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in the blessed Arcanian Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother, Nathan. Alright, I'm not gonna be like Steven, I'm gonna be a good brother. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stephen. Grandfather sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he's now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permissions. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stephen now at the boarding school, grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. I wish he would just stay in Eterna forever. I wish he stayed in Eterna for eternity. I wanna go. Ignore me. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants were redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes, father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of nobility. An illustrious guest. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days, you try your best to stay out of his sight, but there's no way you can avoid family breakfast. Food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She's been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth! Robert, that wife of yours is imprudent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It's time you consider a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hand clenched into fists. Baroness El-Lodar is one such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She's suing for her inheritance right now, and could use proper support, and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant, mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I am the head of this family. The family standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stephen. If I find your conduct in the Baroness' presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She's coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it into his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your room. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stephen's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Elma El Lodar will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as much as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She's been crying and for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. Fuck you, Grandfather. You hear the sounds of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest. A beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady Elodar and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's son, Telemachus and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest Stephen who deserves the most attention, but currently he is studying internal with other young noblemen, like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather's eyes you with probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother? Your father's rightful wife? I want to give Father a dub. Like, I kind of do want to give Father a dub. This is no way to treat Mother, though. Screw this reputation. I'll build it up myself. You fathers follow example and kiss the Baroness' fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. Behind your back you can hear Mother sobbing. Grandfather nods to you in approval. At the corner of your eyes you can see Mother quietly walking upstairs. No! This is wrong! This cannot be! You walk up to Father, look him into the eye, and ask in a voice loud enough to be heard by everyone. Why didn't he introduce Mother to the guest? She is his legal wife and your mother. Is she not? There is silence. Mother stops on the stairs and turns her head in surprise. Father's confused. Nathan starts whining again. Grandfather grinds his teeth, his hands tightly gripping the heavy walking stick. Keep Father transfixed by your gaze. And after a few moments that feel like an eternity, he winks at you, almost imperceptibly, then adjusts his doublet and turns to your noble guest. Baroness, allow me to introduce Lydia Brante, my wife and mother to my younger children. Lydia, would you be so kind as to join us for dinner? What are you saying, Robert? Father, it would be a disgrace to hold a family dinner without the lady of the house. Father marches up the stairs and offers his hand to Mother. She accepts it and walks down with a shy smile on her face, for the first time in those many days. The Baroness presses her lips in contempt at the sight. After a long moment, Grandfather finally breaks the uneasy silence and leads everyone into the dining room. Yeah, fuck you, Grandfather. Mother sits at the furthest corner of the table, claiming that she needs to watch over Nathan. There's barely any small talk over dinner, apart from the Baroness and Grandfather discussing her widowhood and inheritance litigation. Father and Mother do not say a word throughout the meal. Yet, they no longer look as tense as the day before. There's not even a mention of any potential marriage. As soon as the door closes behind the Baroness, you flee to your bedroom and lock the door. Grandfather's heavy footsteps can already be heard in the hallway. He's a force of anger and eager to get his hands on you. Whelp! You had the nerve to interfere in the adult's affair. You ruined the dinner with the Baroness. Open this door this instant and face the punishment you deserve. Then suddenly, his voice dies down. You hear Father speaking quietly. We both realize there can be no other marriage, Father. I already have a wife, and there's nothing to be done about it. I'm sorry, Father, but you will have to accept it. And please, leave my son alone. He only helped me face the truth and nothing else. Grandfather huffs and puffs at a loss for words. You hear the head of Brante family and his adults in retreat from the door of your room. It seems there will be no punishment today after all. Yo, I thought he was gonna actually like bash my brains in again. Grandfather leaves to return alone. About a fortnight later, Father receives a letter from Stephen. It seems Grandfather told him about the incident with the Baroness, and so the letter is full of ire. He writes that you have reminded High Society about Father's marriage to a low-born woman, and now the family's reputation is at stake. Father winces when he read Stephen's letter, deep in thought. But Mother's is smiling again because of Father's accent. Her joy a quiet, happy glow. Okay, I need to preserve my house honor too, because like, if I'm disgraced, we're no longer a noble house. And that means the nobles will treat us like shit. Like, they already treat us like shit as like low-born nobles. But if we become like disgraced, we're no longer nobles. And therefore nobles could literally just kill us. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he became so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stephen had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. Ah, fuck that douchebag. He was lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery instead of your room. You now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you? You ask. Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way. That's it. She shows you the strange tube she had been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? I'm excited by the idea. You close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eyes see a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in. Oh no. Why do I not read? The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding at the front of the fire horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lights, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. Patterns are unending, secretive, and calm and peaceful. Just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating gentle warmth, like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives you away to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again, you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. In the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you are still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it no matter how you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart? Or ask Gloria how it works? Or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you? But you still have lessons to do today. If I take it apart, my perception is +1, my willpower would be -5. Keep looking, I get willpower to 10. Right, that's enough of unlocking conditions met. I need willpower. Just gonna get +10. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns of the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly fuck's sakes. Can I not slur my words? They become truly interesting when you point it at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and neighing of horses. You're leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody's so proud of you. Grandfather says you're better than Steven, and... Oh, this is pike and shot warfare. Ah, so it is. And Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. How'd you get your hand on this toy, Telemachus? Why'd you studying? Give it to me. You will have double the lessons tomorrow. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to. Something nagging, yet not unordinary. Like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. The tension still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable, it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You are walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She's startled. It's you, Telemachus. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather's sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet, Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the highborn treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear. But next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Steven used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it in your tongue. It is so sweet. You've never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully, like a rare treasure. There's thumping on the stairs. Footsteps, accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why. Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she's frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, lowborn child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in the ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls on the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please, don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. What is it then, milksop? Did you try the sugar too? Or are you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? Alright, this is the reason why I have willpower. You stand up and tell the truth, even though it takes you an effort to do it. You actually ate a candied fruit. Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You are quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes her head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises. Yet, she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots and how important it is to follow them. Then you stand before Father and Grandfather and swear never to take things that do not belong to you again. It is now the time of the sacrament. Father and Mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you are told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of my sacrament. Today is a day where I have to be put into an estate and driven like a commoner into the dust. But no, I refuse this fate. I refuse you, fate. I choose my own path.
Mother, I want to go play in the yard,
says Nathan Brante, my younger brother. No playing today. You and Telemachus are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot.
I don't want a lot, Mother. Please, Mother.
Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a lowborn lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get the chance to earn a noble lot. Father and Mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. And Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon, the carriage is moving along the streets of Anzanet, slowly and solemnly. One more turn, and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots. Oof. That's probably not good for, public health. Especially now. While the floor on the other side is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor. The well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. God. Class divide. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the noble pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain. For the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest, dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Getting some Belmont vibes, you know, the whip, stuff like that. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He's scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach rolls in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the word of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him toward the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. Dude, he's like 5 or 4. Cut him some slack. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him.
I don't want to. Telemachus, why do we want to whip me? What did I do?
You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulder. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. Now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself toward Mother, his knees torn and bloody, his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below. So sharp, your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering, by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? I have 4 options here, but actually 3 since I can't get one. I can either accept it like a bitch and I get my determination -1, but I do get perception +1. But no. I raise my head. I cannot get that because I don't have determination. I catch the lash, determination +1, perception -1. Or I kiss the Lord. I kiss it. I kiss the sword. I get a nobleman sacrament, my determination is +1, my perception is -1, and my willpower is -10. But Gregor Brand does get +1. Yo. Screw the priests. I'm gonna kiss the sword. I defy your lot. I choose my own way. The whip slices through the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed by the blade the priest holds in his other hand. You jump up and away. The lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hand. It cuts into them without mercy. The priest wrenches away from your bloody fingers. You look him straight in the eye. I am Telemachus of House Brante. priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth, cold blade. Your cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the jagged floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you have just done. But grandfather looks at you intently, as though truly seeing you for the first time. There's a semblance of respect in the gaze. You're forced back to the commoner's place at the altar. The acolytes seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloody, jagged stone of the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left shoulder. Then you are told to rise. You are a commoner. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being so insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Brother holds your hand as you walk, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. But you do not feel as though you have made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Okay. Oh god. My willpower is at 5. Next thing I gotta do is conserve willpower. Taking your first sacrament, receive the commoner's lot. I kiss the sword and challenge the sacred order to seize a noble's lot. Year 1125. Childhood's end. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long, long time to heal. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot. Suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Where it shows you a mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stephen still lived with you, but when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it's beneath him to write to commoners to his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. Mostly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot, not only after the head of the family arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him? Or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now. And what's more, you are an elder brother now. You learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon, you're a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and ruthless world of your adulthood. Your childhood years are over. Okay, let's go over what just happened. Year 1118, I was born. I attended my family's sacrament, my brother and sister's sacrament in year 1122. Nathan was born that same year. In the year 1124, that bitch of a grandfather came over. And that same year, I was killed because of grandfather. In year 1125, I had my own sacrament. And I defied my lot. I said I will kiss the sword. I will become a nobleman. I will change for the better. My determination is 3. My perception is 5. My willpower is 5. Kind of low. I've died once. I think for that, I'll end it off there. Thank you. And I've been Loppies the Floppiest.